One thing which I haven't shown you guys yet is moving blocks. This is one of the things which I added to the editor, which might make you think that it's a complete game. I'm going to remove these hurt zones since they're no longer necessary. But really there are a lot more aspects of the game that are in my original vision for it that aren't included in this, and I don't feel that the game is complete without them. In any case, in order to create a new moving block, you click on this icon here that has the block, the little spark next to it, and the 4 directional arrows. You can choose an image, and actually I have a few different images that can be used. Let's see. These images are very blocky. They're good for solid moving platforms or moving platforms that you want to be narrow to increase the difficulty. Have some for vertical, some for horizontal. One that I used a lot more is wide ones. These wide ones, I usually use them for moving platforms that can be jumped up through, ones that aren't solid. I'll use this one, wide block H. Again, you can set a color to be transparent. I'll set the blue to be transparent. The default speed is a number 0 and higher. I'll set it to 3, which is about the walk speed of Fluttershy. And this checkbox decides whether the block should be passed through or not. You can set the width here and the height. And you can set the block to be vertical, horizontal, or stationary. Basically, stationary allows you to place blocks in the area without having to resort to static blocks. Sometimes you'll want to do that. I'll set it to be horizontal, click OK. And as you can see, I did not get the dimensions right, but I can change it by clicking on this palette item here. It's intended to be one of these moving blocks and a conveyor with a slash between them, and overlaid on top of them is a pencil drawing on a piece of paper. So I think the height is supposed to be 30. Click OK. Scroll over to the right, and it looks good. So I'll place this here. Click once, and it puts it down. And then you can control the left and right minimum and maximum. And very similar to enemies, if you select the actual box, right-click, then you can once again change the minimum and the maximum. You can change the direction. And it's worth adding that you can change the speed of individual blocks. If I want the default speed to be 3, but I can change the speed of this particular one to 5, which is much faster. So let's save this. Save this as escape. Then fire open the game. Load it up. And here's the moving platform. I'll make another one that's stationary. Let's see, what's a good one for the stationary? What's a good image? Ah, the crate. Perfect. See, I don't want anything to be transparent, so I'll set transparent to white. There's no actual white there. Default speed is 0. Block won't be passed through. Height and width are 70. And you can just put these wherever. It doesn't have a minimum or a maximum because, well, it's not moving. And I think I'll make another one here. One that moves vertically. And this time I'm going to make it solid and use one of the boxier ones. Transparent color set to white. Default speed 4, 70, 70. Click OK, and here it is. I'll set it so that you can use it to go up. But there's another thing which I'll want to show you guys. Save. So go back to the game, reload this. Here are the crates going up. Can't quite jump high enough. So jump on the moving platform and I'm back on the crates. However, if you get between a solid moving platform and the ground, you will be crushed. That can be done sideways too. Basically, I set it up so that if the player gets crushed, they die immediately. I actually learned in the course of making this game why game designers do that. Basically, the idea is there's no place for the player to go. If a game designer doesn't kill the player upon being crushed, then there's a problem. Where does the game designer put the player? Does the game designer push the player up into the block that's crushing them or down into the floor? You push them down into the floor and, well, that causes all kinds of problems. It lets the player get to areas that they're not supposed to be in. It can cause some very terrible bugs. Anyways, that's about it for moving platforms. Hopefully you'll be able to have some fun with these moving platforms.